Hello again. This is another Revit video for certification, and we'll be talking about the objective create and modify ramps. Okay, so pay very close attention. As you see on my screen, I've already got a ramp right here. And I'm going to tell you how I set this up. Okay, so what I did is I drew a surface, basically a floor. I used a generic 12-inch floor, and I did the height offset at 1 foot so that it would be above the ground. Okay, that way I can run a ramp up to it and kind of show you how to go from the ground level up to another level. And there's different ways you can do this. I'm going to just show you my way of doing it. If you find an easier way, by all means, use that. But after I created the floor or the surface, I then created a ramp. Okay, and just kind of show you what the ramp looks like from the side. Okay, from a section view, you can see how it starts out. It's actually, the ramp starts naturally, it'll start below that level 1 level. Okay, so it'll be kind of in the ground. And then, of course, it extends up to the top of the level that you want it to go to. Okay, in this case, now, if you were to do this over here and set your levels, you've only got 2 choices. You've got the base level, level 1, and then, of course, you've got level 2, or whatever other levels you have above that. So it has to go to another level. You can create a level, an extra level, but there's really no need to do that. What I do is, instead of creating that extra level, I just do a top offset of 9 feet on this one. It depends on what your second level is set to. My second level, just in this generic template, I'll go to the south view, and you can see that my level 2 is set to 10 feet. I wanted this ramp to go 1 foot above ground level. So what did I do? I just set it for level 1 as far as my base, and then my top level was level 2, and then my top offset is a negative 9 feet. So I wanted to subtract 9 feet from this level 2, which puts it right here at the top of this 12-inch slab, in other words, that I have created. All right, so let's go through it step by step. I'll go back to level 1. That's where I created this from, and I will go to the Architecture tab and click on the Ramp tool. Okay, now, again, taking those levels into consideration, my base level is level 1, naturally. My top level is going to be level 2 because I don't have another level to attach it to. However, I did this offset. I subtracted 9 feet from the top level. So basically, it's going to terminate at 1 foot above ground. All right. So that's how I set that. And then, of course, I just draw. Okay. Pull it all the way out as far as it'll extend. And in this case, of course, it shows that I didn't quite make it all the way. That's okay. Just click the green check mark. Select the ramp. Use your arrow keys. Put it up here where it needs to go. Or, I think it'll actually work better if you use the mouse, because then it will snap, or at least it did earlier. It snapped to the location it needed to go. Okay. All right, so there we go. We have a ramp, and I'll show you how that one came out. It would have come out exactly the same. Okay, so it came out again perfectly. It didn't quite make it all the way to the sidewalk, so we'll just kind of bump it up until it gets there. All right, now let's say that you have a plan and that you're working on a plan, and you notice that something's wrong, that the ramp is not at the correct level. Let's say it looks something like I'm going to put a 13 right here. It'll take it a second, I guess, and I'm just going to click OK. All right, and OK. So let's say you get a plan and you see something like this, and the ramp does not quite meet the very top of the surface. Okay. Well, that's when you go into Edit Type and you look at the settings. And what this is telling you, okay, the ramp max slope right here, that where I just changed it to 13. Says that it is going to rise. How does that, let's see, 1, 13. I'm trying to think, how does that, it doesn't go up to 13 inches. Well, let's see, ramp max slope sets the value for the run X to define the maximum slope for the ramp. Okay, so basically I set it for a 13-foot run when I did that. Okay, so I changed it to 13. That is a 13-foot run instead of the 12-foot run that it was normally set for. Okay, so if you open this thing up and you see this and you need to correct that, then you know that somehow it either didn't go up to the correct level, which could be right here. You would have to check your levels and make sure that all those, make sense, make mathematical sense, or come in here and see what the maximum run length or the slope length is. So this is 13 feet. If it was 13 feet, would mean that it would actually need to come out another foot, and then it would match the top. Okay, but it doesn't. So you can actually change the run value. Now it's going to be 12 feet. Apply. And then as soon as I move, you can see that it went back up to its normal level, to its correct level. So for the extent of its run, for the extent of its 12-foot run, okay, it goes up 12 inches. Okay, you create and modify ramps. Okay, there's some other settings that you might be interested in looking at. Let me just select the ramp. Let me get rid of one of them, one of these sections. Okay, you can see right here it says DN, which basically it points this way. You see the arrow at the end. When you click on the ramp, it'll show this arrow. So basically down is this way. All right. Of course, there's other things. You got your levels, your base, your offsets, and all that. You can turn on or off the up or down label. You can adjust the width to be wider. Okay, you don't want to go anything less than 3 feet. All right, and of course inside of Edit Type, which of course these things I don't think they're gonna ask you to modify or anything on the test. But you got thickness, function is interior. Of course, the ramp that I drew was on the outside, so the function would have to be changed there to exterior. Okay, and that's text size for the down arrow, and of course ramp material. Let's see, maximum incline length is 30 feet. I'm not sure how that actually works because it only lets you draw it out. In that case where I was working, it only let me draw it out 12 feet. So sets the maximum horizontal length of a ramp before landing is required. Okay, so I guess if I had needed a longer one, after 30 feet, it would actually automatically create a landing. That's probably what that does. Never needed one that long before. But anyway, as far as the test is concerned, they would not go into that. Okay, so that'll do it for your ramps.